Happy Thursday. We're going to get started now with the Social Studio webinar focused on publishing. My name is Robin Leonard. I'm the CEO of AF Digital. This webinar is only going to last 30 minutes, but it will be available for viewing after on our YouTube channel. So just a quick note before we start, any purchase decisions that you guys make around Salesforce technology, please don't do so on forward thinking statements, and really just make your purchase decisions on the available functionality today. So just to note, we've ramped up our webinars. We've had such major success with the webinars that we are investing more in them. So here's a long list of webinars. So we're covering both social webinars as well as Marketing Cloud webinars. So if anyone's interested, please go to our website, afdigital.com/events, and you can register there. Alternatively, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we publish everything there as well. And it's got all of our historical webinars, so you'll really be able to go through. There's a wealth of great content in there. So today's agenda, we're going to keep it very short and sharp. So quick intro, publish demo, 15 minutes. We'll talk about how to operationalize social publishing, and then a quick Q&A at the end. And please don't hesitate to connect with me on Instagram or Twitter at Robin_AFD. Great, so just a quick background on myself. I'm really from a customer service background. I was an ex-customer service agent at Vodafone. I later moved on to become a business analyst specializing in telco and CRM. And I did a lot of projects around CRM, business intelligence, and marketing. I later became an IBM Agile project manager in Asia, and that actually took me into Asia. I'm passionately geeky about technology. I love talking about the future and what the landscape of Salesforce has to offer to customers. AF Digital was founded in 2011, and we've been a Radian 6 partner since 2012. So we started very early days with Salesforce as a partner focused on social. And we've really spent the last 6 years evangelizing social across APAC. So my company, AF Digital, we're a trusted marketing partner. We help our clients build smarter customer journeys through agile transformation, scalable marketing operations, and marketing technology consulting. And we're also a gold consulting partner, which I'm very happy to announce. This just ticked over 2 days ago. So we're trusted by household brands across APAC. So if you look at some of the logos there, Audi, Nikon, Qantas, Revlon, Malaysia Airlines, Changi Airport, these are all brands that we know and love. So we've very much been playing in the enterprise space across Asia. We've got a presence in Singapore, Philippines, and ANZ. Great, and aside from being a Salesforce partner and implementing the technology, we're also a full-blown digital agency. So we kind of like to think of ourselves as tech-enabled digital agency. We provide the creative and marketing services like email, social media management, content marketing, reporting, marketing automation, and one-to-one advertising. So not only can we help you set up this awesome new technology, we can also help you run it as well. And the reason we're partnering with Salesforce is they've got a really strong social ecosystem. So we can see here, analyze, engage, and publish. That's all within Social Studio. They've got a command center platform that ties into everything, so you can visualize your data on large screens. There's automation and intelligence that integrates social into your CRM stack, so your sales and service clouds. But also into Marketing Cloud. So we can start to do really cool things like trigger journeys that originate from social. So 9 reasons I love Social Studio. They're rapidly releasing awesome new features. Every 2 months there's a major release, and it's always packed with features. Social Studio integrates really well into the Salesforce ecosystem. So what you find is if you buy different point solutions and try to plug them all together, you can get them to work, but Salesforce just plug in natively. It makes everything easier. There's enterprise governance available for big and small companies. So if you're a Stockland that has hundreds of brands across the country, or if you're a small startup, it still works. You know, you can manage both cases with maximum complexity or very minimal structure. It has a sleek UI, so it's really built for non-technical marketers. And that's been a huge shift. You know, marketing technology is often very difficult and technical to use. they've built Social Studio, so you don't need a technical person to figure it out. Any marketer can come in and click around without breaking things. It also has really powerful big data analytics, and I find it easier than BI tools because BI, you often need a technical person to write the SQL or build the dashboards. With Social Studio, the marketer can build their own dashboards. The marketer can like use the data and play around with it without having a technical person involved. The marketer can also action from within the dashboards, so it has kind of the ability to tag and escalate things from within the reporting dashboards. We also provide, or Social Studio provides really strong metadata tagging. So as you're working on the social posts, you can enrich them with additional information about the author, about the type of post they are, or what you're doing with them. And then you can report on those tags. So it really means you can get rich data after you enrich it. It also supports a structured workflow or unstructured chaos. So similar to how you can have big companies and small companies operating within it, you can set up a really robust structured process with maximum control and very little flexibility for mistake, or you can just allow users to kind of get started on day one without any process or workflow or automation, and they can still use it just as easily. There's macros and duplication to reduce clicking. And the fact that it's all in the cloud makes it really easy to work with partners. So you can kind of break up the roles and all work in the same platform and have absolute visibility over what everyone's doing on social without it being so much them throwing stuff over a fence and you throwing stuff back. You're really working side by side. Okay, so without any further ado, let's jump into the publishing demo. So we've got two actors. We've got John Frankenstein, who's the social media specialist, and we've got Robin, who's the social director. So John's role, he's really the one that is responsible for managing the calendars. So he ideates new content, he prepares the draft content calendar for approval, and then he also reports on the performance of his content. So Robin's job, he gives John some direction and guidance, he reviews and approves the content, and he also views the content results as well. So I'm just going to jump in. I'll focus on John Frankenstein first. Okay, great. So I'm currently in Social Studio. I'm actually going to use the AF Digital Live social accounts. So as you can see, there's Publish, Engage, Analyze. We're going to focus on publishing today. So this is my content calendar. This is a shared content calendar. And right now it's looking a little bit empty. So my job is I've got to fill this up with content as quickly as possible and get Robin to approve it. Okay, so we can see I've got a post here for later. This is one I set up earlier. So this is actually an announcement of AF Digital becoming a gold partner. So what I want to do is I want to really maximize this one post. So I'm going to share it. So this will actually, if I share it, this puts it into my content library, and then I can reuse the same piece of content over and over again. Great, so this is all in there. I'm just going to share it with my workspace. Great, okay, so that's there. I'm going to add a label of press. Okay, great. And that's all. So I've got this piece of content that I've published, or I'm about to publish this afternoon, and I'd like to reuse that. So right now I'm going to go into my shared content on the left side. So this is my content library. So whenever I put a piece of content here and I reuse it, it actually allows me to track stats on the same piece of content. So we can see here this really long post, but down the bottom we've got it's been used 4 times in each of these accounts, so it gives really rich statistics of how successful the content's been, average engagements. So if I was really using this well, I would be able to see which bits of my shared content are the most popular, and then I can use that to review it. To prioritize which bits I reuse. You can also see this content was for an event, so it's no longer relevant. I shouldn't be using this content. And we actually set an end date for this, so I can no longer reuse this content. So this really allows large companies, so if you're a Coca-Cola and you want all of your local Facebook pages to publish the same content or to reuse it, you can use this content library here. So I'm going to use this post. My objective is I've already got a post scheduled on Facebook. I want to reuse it for my other channels. So I want to also do a similar post on LinkedIn. So I clicked LinkedIn, and as you can see, it's just populated everything that I had. Oh, okay, I've got a reauthorization issue on LinkedIn. Occasionally, you have to reauthorize your social accounts. Hopefully, it won't reject me from doing that. Okay, cool. So I will reauthorize. Fingers crossed, not the best thing to do in a demo. Okay, so that's hopefully going to be successful. Great. So I think this actually triggered, we recently updated our brand name on our LinkedIn page. So that's probably just why it's asked for that reauthorization. So give it a second. Okay, while that's happening, I'm just going to go back and take a different action. I'm going to use that and make a tweet. So it's very similar. It's really as simple as, okay, I've got one piece of content. I want to get it out to all my social accounts without clicking too much. As we know, as social media managers, the clicking is often the biggest time suck. So now I've done this. So it's really a link as well. So just gonna go to the website, get that link. Great, and as you can see, it's really, as a social media specialist that's doing content, you've got to always be clicking around. Okay, I've got this link now from my website. Great, so I'm going back and I'm just going to put that link in there. And as you can see, Salesforce shortened it. I'm going to upload an image as well. Great, okay, so that image is there. Excellent. Okay, cool. So that's that. And what I'm going to do is just schedule it for a little bit later this afternoon, around 1 p.m. or 2:30. Okay, great. And now I go back to my published calendar and I can see that that is there. So I'm just going to shift that around to the same time as the Facebook post. Pending post. Oh, okay. So the other thing to consider is I've also set up an approval rule. So this post right now that I've set up needs approval from Robin. So I'm just going to let that sit there and come back to it. So generally, what we've done is we've used that shared content. Let me just, now that that LinkedIn works, I'm just going to also do the same for LinkedIn and show you that. So I'm going to use that piece of content, LinkedIn update. Okay, great. Select the LinkedIn account, and then there's nothing else I need to do. It's all tagged correctly. I just probably need to set the time that it gets published. So again, I'll set it for around 2:30. Schedule. Oh, okay, sorry. Publish emojis, and this is the hard thing about each network. Publish emojis are not supported by LinkedIn yet. They are supported by Facebook and Twitter. Great, okay, so I've got some posts in there about the event. So what I'd do generally is I'd keep building this out. So today I'm really focusing on this gold partner. Tomorrow I probably want to do a post to say thanks to everyone for attending this webinar. So I go through and let's just create a post from scratch. So thanks everybody for attending our webinar, our social studio publish webinar yesterday. Upload an image. So this is the webinar image. Please check out our YouTube page page for the recording. And then I'll probably add a link to that recording here. I won't do it right now because just to save time. So another thing to note is you can actually edit the the photos as well. So there's an editing app, and it's very similar to Instagram editing. So this makes it really easy if you're just kind of running it by yourself. You're not a graphic designer, you don't have Photoshop, but you do want to do cool things like, say if I want to focus in on something, you know, similar to how you focus on an image. This is one of my favorite things to do. And it's as easy as just going apply. You can add text overlay, you can add effects, all sorts of things. So I'd suggest going through here. It's really great if you don't have a graphic designer all the time. It just allows anyone to publish high quality content. So I'm just going to go schedule. I'm just going to change that to a little bit later. Okay, 2:30 p.m. Schedule. Great, and so I'd be likely to do the same on LinkedIn. Let me just do it for Instagram, because Instagram is something we're all getting into more and more. Instagram doesn't really allow publishing from desktop from any app. There's a few workarounds. Salesforce have got a nifty workaround for this problem. So if I go create an Instagram post, and then I will select the Instagram page. So what it does is when it actually goes time to publish, it will send me a notification, and on my mobile app, I can then publish it. So because Instagram only allows you to publish from mobile app. So I'm just going to add an image here. Okay, gold partner status. I'm just going to edit that text, and I will schedule it for a little bit later as well. Okay, so today at 3 p.m. schedule. Okay, so and this is really where it tells you the selected user will receive a push notification, etc., etc. Great. Okay, so that's scheduled. So the other thing I do as John Frankenstein is I'll be like, actually, I've got this idea for next week. Oh God, it's 9/11. Okay, maybe a bit sensitive, but you could say if I was to do to think about something, I've got this great idea. I'm not sure if Robin's going to like it. Can we do some heartfelt post regarding 9/11? It's generally not something that my company would kind of get behind because it's not related to my brand, but it's just an example. So I can say, hey Robin, have this idea, yada yada yada, this is what I'm thinking about doing. So I can add a note in there. So that's kind of in my content calendar, and then I'm like, okay, I've also been told on Friday night we are going to have a gold partner status party. Okay, so I know that I'm going to have to do some posts for that. So as a social media manager, I'm going to kind of plan out my calendar, and my boss can come in and see what my plan is. Another thing I'm likely to do is instead of scheduling posts that go for approval, I may draft posts. So I'm just going to, this is a draft post. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with this one. I'm just going to schedule it for Friday, 1 p.m., but then I'm going to save it as draft. So that allows me to have flexibility in my calendar to really make it awesome until the point that you're like, okay, I'm ready. So you can see that one's gray. It's not ready for approval yet. Okay, so without further ado, let's just log out quickly. And I'm going to log back in as Robin. Okay. My password works. Great. So I'm back in as Robin. Okay, cool. So I'm the manager. So Robin has said, hey, I want to publish some stuff. So you see here, there are all of these notifications for posts that I need to review. So I can click on one of these, and similar to Facebook, just work through my notifications. So I've got this post here, we just hit Gold Partner. So I like this post, it's really great, but it has no call to action, it has no hashtags, which we know is really important. Please add a link in the bio, which is best practice in Instagram, to the press release. Also, please add hashtags AF Digital, Salesforce, etc. That's it. Oh, actually, also I want to tag. Also, please tag at Salesforce APAC because they're our friends. Great. So I've been able to give some really quick feedback on this. So it's really up to my business process, but what I can do is I can either approve this and then it goes through and publishes, or I can go reject. Please see comments. Great, and so I've rejected that. So John will receive a notification say that's been rejected, please make updates, and he goes back and he makes changes to that and then sends it back for approval. So we can see here on the left side is all of my tasks. So I can see a list here and I can go through them and I can either edit them myself and approve them, or I can give feedback and approve them. But as a manager, this makes everything so much easier for me. The rules that you set up are very easy to set up. They just take a few clicks to set up the logic. But you can have very complex rules. So you can say, if it is in this country and it is created by this person, then get this person to review first and then this person to review second. So it's really set up so you can support really complex approvals. So we have a large airline that we run through here, and there's like 4 people on the approvals for that. But it's the governance that you need. Great, so generally I'd be working the calendar, I'd be looking around, he'd probably email me and say, hey Robin, I've created some drafts and some notes, can you have a look in there and see what you think, add comments. So it allows me to have a conversation with him. I can also track that he's got something going out every day, in a month view I can see, okay, actually we're missing a lot of content. And we've got these notes, so it makes it all very easy. Another really great thing for me is if I've got a few teams working in here, I can filter by social accounts. So I can say, okay, only show me the tweets. Or I can, let's just select all of those again. Or I can filter by status. So I can say, okay, show me only those that have been scheduled. So these are ones that have been approved and scheduled. Only those that are pending approval, only those that are rejected. So it allows you to really manage your workflow. And also these labels as well. So in the case of the, we don't have any event, webinar. Okay, I don't have any webinar event. Okay. So, all right, well this should filter anyway. I'm not using my tags correctly. Okay, great. So that's really how I use the content calendar. So I'm just going to quickly jump into performance. So performance is how I report on the performance of specific campaigns. So there's some standard reports here, but what I want to do is do a post report. So this gives me all the exact detail about what's gone on. So this is very similar to how Facebook Insights would work. What I'll do though is I'm going to select last couple of months up until now, maybe 2 months ago, match any of these labels, event. So this is a published label that I'm using, so I can report on how many posts or reach I got, or impressions or clicks. So this is really a table, and from here I can export CSV. And then I can say, okay, for every piece of content that we've published that is tagged with event publish label, I want to see the total number of impressions for that, all of those tags. So that means that if and here you go, so I can then go, okay, out of the whole series, and I mean this is very small data, but you get the picture, we had 4 favorites, we had this, I don't know, 14 link clicks, 2 retweets, etc. So if you're a McDonald's and you're running a campaign specifically on a burger, you could tag all of those posts with a burger and then say, okay, all of these efforts, this is the result from that campaign. So it really allows you to go to the next level in terms of performance managing campaigns or content buckets or themes or different strategies that you're running. Great. So jumping back to the deck, so that's the demo over. So what we saw is John was able to direct and give guidance. He was able to review and approve content and also view the content results. So I just wanted to show you, I can't demo this easily on GoToWebinar, but the Social Studio mobile app has a publishing approval feature, and it's exactly the same as online. And this makes it great. When this first got released, I was literally in Italy on the beach approving content for clients. And it pops up as a notification, and you've got the opportunity to approve, reject, leave comments, and then if you reject, you can leave comments. So it really allows you to approve content from anywhere. Great, so just quickly want to touch on how do you operationalize social in your business? This is a really big question. So I've got 7 points. So first, if you have the luxury of having a command center, set it up everywhere. It's really important to evangelize social across your business, not by talking about it a lot, but by exposing it, showing the numbers, showing the result of your efforts. And that means a lot, you know. If your teams are working on it and they don't see the result of their inactivity or their super activity, you know, it doesn't help incentivize them. Second point, and this is probably the most important to achieving ROI from social, is to integrate it into your BAU process. It should not be a separate thing that sits out there with your agency where you throw things over the fence to each other. It should be like the telephone in your business. So really thinking about how do you integrate into your sales, service, marketing, IT, change, learning, risk, and BI processes. That's a lot of parts of your business that are affected by social. Third point, dedicate IT budget to develop and maintain social technology. It's not free to do this. You can use free tools, but they won't get you that far. So if you really want to integrate it into your business, you really need to have someone from IT that is responsible for the technology. 4, build a center of excellence in-house. So my recommendation is don't rely on agencies to learn and know everything about social. You should have some people in-house that own it, because your maturity gains organization over time. It's not something that you can just start straight away. 5, find partners to help you achieve operational scale. Robots are coming. So you've all seen bot chats. You don't need to build large teams managing social when you can have partners that do that. Later on, automation will come. But before you get robots, it's really important to get the basics right. You know, robots really help you optimize a manual process. If you're not doing the manual process today, it's very hard to automatically do it without problems. So highly recommend that you just get the basics right with social, and that's really publishing regularly, engaging proactively and actively, and also reporting on and understanding what's going on. And finally, get ROI through adding social personas to advertising journeys or upselling services. So KLM, you know, out of their social customer service, they make 25 million euros a year in sales from social alone. And more than pays for that operation. They've just thought about how to do it. So pro tip, I've got a super pro tip with Command Center. A lot of people are like, what's the ROI? How do we do it exactly? What screens do we need? The key is don't overthink it, just get started. It's all about adoption of social into your organization. And finally, how to work with a partner. So because it's in the cloud, it makes it really easy, and it's a collaborative platform. So the social partner or your agency, they draft the calendar and you just approve it and give feedback. They engage on social and escalate the important stuff, and you just review the engagement and handle the escalations. The partner prepares and sends reports, the client reviews reports. So it's very much built to help you scale. You can be a one-man band, but have an agency with multiple people working for you. So here's an example. We recently did this project for HighPages. We set up their social studio for their marketing teams, but we also integrated it with their sales and service cloud so that they can send cases and leads across into the CRM and have the sales team or the service team follow up on those. It leaves their marketing team free to have fun and engage with their fans in a great way. And for any customers that are considering buying Social Studio add-on or getting started with this journey, we've got some packages that are designed to get you started really quickly. So we've got the Social Power On for $5,000. That just gets you started with basic Publish, Engage, Analyze. And Social Connect, $15,000. That gets you integrated with Sales and Service Cloud from Social Studio. So really, really quick hits projects. Can I ask if there are any questions? Perhaps if you can just add the questions to the questions box. No, it doesn't look like we have any questions. Well, thank you very much for attending, everyone. And please go to our YouTube page, AF Digital, to find the recordings. We'll also send an email out after. And please go to afdigital.com/events and register for upcoming webinars. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.